There is an old Austelian saying that the truth will set you free. Well, Abigail finally told the truth, and everyone is still trapped in this dreadful forest. Maybe the freedom part of truth-telling is a delayed effect? Oh, speaking of awful things happening, Llydia is still being hunted by a ghost. We should really check in on her, because only the dice know what might happen. So, listener, the time has come to roll and tell.
Welcome back to Roll and Tell. I'm Christian.
And I'm Jeffrey.
We are your players, your storytellers, and a big sweater made out of gummy bears.
Oh man, that is just so sweet. What a nice gift you could give to anybody in your life. Just a sticky sweet sweater that they can eat or feel gross in.
Yeah, Jeffrey, why aren't you trying on your new sweater? I made it just for you.
Oh, because, it's just so nice to look at.
Come on, try it on. just put it on, please.
Let me take off my clothes.
Ooh.
How do I look?
Wow, you look so good. Doesn't it feel nice?
I can't believe you use so many of those weird clear gummy bears.
Isn't that your favorite color, though?
That is no one's favorite gummy bear.
At the very least, it'll protect you in a car wreck, so that's all that matters.
Now,
anyway.
Bounce right off the car.
Who are we?
We are Roll and Tell. 2 players. No game master. Only chaos.
Yeah, baby. That's all we accept here is chaos. No other payment methods.
And we have been giving you sweet, sweet chaos for an entire year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, a whole year, baby. Well, now it's been like a year and 2 weeks, kind of.
Well, when this comes out, yeah.
Yeah, when this comes out. But for us, it was like 2 days ago.
We had a Halloween episode, and we didn't want to steal Halloween's thunder by saying it was our birthday. Halloween is pretty sensitive about that kind of thing.
But yeah, November 1st was our 1-year anniversary that we released our very first episode. So, we celebrated on our own time, and we had wonderful friends send us cakes. Shout out to Emily and Elizabeth for sending us both a cake. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was good. And, at this point, we've been here for a year, so it feels like you can't get rid of us.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can. You can stop listening to us if you want.
Why would you say that?
I'm just kidding. Don't. We'll come for you if you do.
We will come for you.
Yeah. So, we have a lot of big things happening in today's episode, though, because, this just works out perfectly with such a big celebration for us and finalizing the spooky season, going into the cold season. We have a lot of crazy stuff happening in this forest. Our characters are not only split up. Lydia's dealing with Ghost. Our group with Llydia, Abigail, Llydia, and Thebia are dealing with a very creepy fungus at the heart of the forest. We have a lot of stuff to figure out this episode.
Yeah, and there's a lot of emotions running high. We haven't even dealt with... Llydia did deal with it in his own way, but Thebia, Llydia have heard this lie that Abigail shared. I feel like morale is in a weird place.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And speaking of which, now that we're going to jump right back into this, I think I would like to head back over to Llydia to see what she's doing.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. We had a couple scenes with our other group. We really need to see what the heck Lydia's doing because she's in a sticky situation. We need to figure out how she gets out of this.
I've been thinking about that a lot. What is going on with this ghost? And I kept thinking about the let me in, let me out thing that the ghost has been saying and the way that you delivered that in particular, Christian. And it got me thinking, there's only one ghost, but we've seen a lot of bodies.
Yeah, we described thousands of those topiary-like bodies in the middle of the forest. But why is there only one ghost?
Yeah, why is there only one ghost? What makes it special? Why does it want out so badly? Because we had originally rolled that it was being tormented by the forest. And we haven't seen the forest torment this being in particular. So I think Llydia may stumble upon the source of the ghost's torment in this next scene.
And it only makes sense that this source is not the same thing necessarily that Diody, Lluid, and Abigail are dealing with. But, there's always the possible that it's an extension of that. So, I mean, it's going to be something that we roll. So that just makes sense.
Yeah. What's our chaos?
We are at a chaos 7.
7.
Yes.
So I have this question for chaos. Is the thing that is tormenting the ghost, is it some kind of creature?
I think that's very likely. That's the case,
Exceptional, yes.
Oh, baby.
Okay, so it is a creature, and this is the next question I'm going to ask. Is it the next thing that Llydia finds?
Yeah, if she's trying to get out of the forest, I feel like she's going to be coming across it, so... You laughing makes it feel like it doesn't matter what the odds are.
Yeah, because I rolled a 1.
No way. A 1?
Yeah, it's an exceptionally... It's
like an
exceptionally a creature.
Exceptional, yes.
And exceptional that it's the next thing that she finds. So the question is, what makes her finding it exceptional? Does that mean it finds her? Is it aware of her presence even with her hiding?
Maybe this creature's aware of where this ghost is.
And the ghost is following her.
Yeah, so what if this creature is in a somewhat close proximity to the ghost at all times? Maybe it's been near us this whole time. It's been kind of like
following it,
tracking us,
tormenting it, lurking. My only question then is, why didn't it kill us sooner?
It was just looking for a good opportunity. Maybe it's one of those things that plays, like it's obviously tormenting this ghost's body or whatever. It might just be something that plays with its food.
Yeah, then it might not be like a large hulking beast of any kind. It might be something else. Because if it was humongous or like incredible like that, it would have just like came after us,
Of course, yeah.
So it's got to be something more subtle. All right, so I'm going to roll from the creature table in Perilous Wilds, of course. Now, this is kind of what I was hoping for. It's humanoid.
Awesome.
All right, would you roll a d12?
I got a 7.
Common. Christian, this actually gives me an idea.
Okay.
Will you allow me to share some mythological information with you?
Okay. I feel like I don't have a choice.
So, Christian, in Swedish folklore, there's a creature called a skogsrö, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but close enough that I can do. And it's a creature that appears in forests, and it usually appears as a beautiful woman, but from behind there's usually something wrong with them behind. And a lot of the images I've seen is they often have tree and plant growth growing out of the back of them. Now, the mythology behind this creature is it likes to tempt people into the forest and like offer to be their lover, but then traps them there forever. What if this person was separated from the rest of the group because they weren't with the other people, they were with this forest nymph?
Yeah.
And this forest nymph trapped them separate from the rest of the project group.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Because, like, I think that what you're describing is likely to exist within this forest that we're currently in, because it plays into the themes we've been dealing with so far, that this forest is in some way, like, it's lawful, but it has a corruption about it, where in the way that it's protecting itself, it's destroying everything around it. I don't think it's far-fetched that this creature could possibly be something along those lines.
Yeah, and I think it plays into the idea that it's exceptional, but it appears like a common person, which is what we just rolled. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
If this is the scene, Llydia basically is going to find just a person.
Okay.
And this person has trapped the soul of this ghost. It has bound the ghost to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can't escape.
Yeah. I don't think we need to roll to see if that's the case because we've just taken the rolls we've gotten and logicked it out.
Yeah. We just need to roll for chaos itself for the scene.
Right, exactly.
So, Christian, since we don't have a game master, you'll likely be the creature, this nymph, this Skooksrua, but we're metagaming now. I know the trap. I know the puzzle, which means I'm going to have to do my best to act as if I don't know this information and do a lot of rolls to determine whether or not Llydia falls for the gimmick.
Yeah.
So we still need to roll for the scene to see if it happens as we've described it. And I think the scene is Llydia continues through the forest and meets our nymph.
All right, Chaos 7. Why don't you roll for it, Jeffrey?
I rolled a 3.
So an alteration.
An alteration. So the scene setup was Llydia continues through the forest and finds the nymph. My question is, several things we can change there. The nymph finds her, or she's not walking through the forest anymore. She finds something else, like a hut or a home.
Oh, ooh. I like the possibility that the nymph comes across her and she leads her to a home.
I like that. So Llydia doesn't find the nymph. The nymph finds Llydia.
The wind is slowly picking up as the breeze and the gusts become stronger with every moment. The rain, instead of falling directly from above, is now hitting you on the side of your face, coming from your left. And as you are slowly walking next to this horse, using it as cover, as it blocks your sight from the ghost on the other side of it, you are doing everything you can to remain in this darkness, to remain unseen. But you can feel still that ghost, even though it's on the other side of this horse, that it is still so close. Almost as if it's doing the same exact thing as you, walking next to this horse, but just on the other side. You almost get the feeling like it has an idea of where you are, but it just can't place it.
Llydia is, more than anything, uncomfortable. This being that is beside the horse, while it isn't physically there, its presence is haunting her. The rain just giving a vague outline to its shape. She's doing everything she can to not look towards it, to look ahead, to try to ignore that there is anything else in this forest but her and Sky Chaser.
And as every sound still feels like it's drowned out by the rain, you start to hear the ghost in your head once again. But instead of saying anything, it's letting out a soft cry. Heaves of what feel like sorrowful cries that would be normally accompanied by tears. And then moments later, you hear softly,
Please, let me out.
The longer Llydia is in the company, in the presence of this spirit, the more she hears the strange tone in which it's speaking, the desperation, the seeming sadness. She'd feel bad if she wasn't so concerned about her own well-being, so she tries to keep ignoring it.
and as if only a quick moment later, you hear quick jogging footsteps directly ahead of you in the dark. With the moonlight barely coming through the trees, it's kind of hard to see through the rain that's also coming down, but you see a dark, silhouetted figure running what looks like in your direction, an outline of what looks like a small female figure. And as it gets closer, you hear in your head that ghost once more whimper, and you hear the footsteps of the ghost shuffle away quickly away from you.
Llydia hears the spirit leave, and she thinks to herself, that's strange. So I'm going to do a discern realities.
2d6 plus whiz.
That's an 8, so I get one question. What here is not what it appears to be?
Llydia, in that moment that you noticed this spirit flee away, that whimper that you heard, you did hear one little word in that whimper. You heard the spirit say,
No.
as if it is running away from whatever's coming towards you. You realize this ghost was scared.
Llydia is going to take a moment to put on her gloves, her metal-studded gloves, and be ready for whatever is coming.
And as you're finishing putting on your final glove, you see what looks like a bright lantern become lit, being held by this figure. And it is close to you now, only trees away. And this lantern shines brightly on you, completely dissipating the shadow that you were hiding in behind this horse. And on the other side of this shining, bright lantern, you can clearly see this beautiful young woman's face. She has long, braided brown hair that runs over her shoulders. She's wearing a small brown hat that's pointed at the front. And when you look towards the rest of her, you can see that she's wearing a very intricately detailed blue dress. Along the ends at the bottom and around her neck, there's lace that looks like doilies that are just lining the entirety of this dress. And she says, Oh, dear, you look terrible. Are you all right?
Llydia sees this beautiful woman, and she's got her fists up. She was ready to punch something. But her fist slowly falls to her side, and she feels that rain hitting against her, and she hears her say, "You look terrible." And Llydia looks at this woman with the lantern, and she feels self-conscious that she's the one that looks terrible. And she just puts her hand on her wet head, and she doesn't know what to say, 'cause she's just looking at this woman. She's astonished that she's even here. And she says the only words that she can think to say, "Who are you?"
Oh, my dear lovely, my name's Annalie. It's nice to meet you. And she holds out a hand.
Lovely?
Annalie. My name's Annalie.
No, you called me never mind. Okay, I'll shake your hand. Yes. And she just shakes her hand.
What are you doing out here in the dark parts of the woods?
I was with my brother, and we got trapped here. What are you doing here? There are ghosts and rocks coming out of the ground.
Oh, I live just a ways down that way. And I heard a lot of commotion, and I was worried that it was bears again, so I thought I would take a look.
You live here?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude. Would you like to come back to my place? It looks like you've been out here a long time, and you probably want to get warm and dry.
Lydia's looking at this young woman, I imagine about the same age as her. She wants to believe that this is a good thing, that somebody has come and she's got help and she'll be safe. But she's on edge. So I'm going to do a discern realities.
Okay.
I feel like I must. So I get one question. What here is not what it appears to be?
Llydia, when you're looking at this woman, you can see very clearly that she is taking short glimpses at your body, looking you up and down, taking a glimpse at your chest and your waist, but then she'll flick her eyes away, as if trying not to be too obvious about it.
Ooh. Oh, boy. Llydia was looking for some kind of danger. She's on high alert, but she sees this, and boy, does she not know how to respond. Llydia is not a person who has, let's say, had many relationships before. She's been alone a lot, and she's spent a lot of her life trying to not be seen, and now she is being seen in a way that she is not used to. She's pretty too, so Llydia just kind of looks to the side, and she says, okay, I'll follow you. Yeah.
Well, let's move quickly. It really can be dangerous out here. We're just gonna head straight this way, okay? And she points straight in the direction you're already walking. If you don't mind,
if you could take the lead so I can keep the lantern on behind us, so bears don't sneak up.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Lydia grabs a hold of Sky Chaser's reins and starts to lead the way, taking glimpses back at the young woman to make sure she's still there.
And you can see that she's trailing at the same pace as you, only a couple feet behind you, as she turns her head every now and then to the left and to the right, as if she is looking out to make sure that, as she described, no bears or other dangerous animals are coming their way.
Annalie, that was your name, right?
That's right, lovely.
Lydia blushes a little bit at being called lovely again. You live here. I swear there's something following me. It's like, I don't know how to describe it besides it looks like a person, but I can see through them. They're slender and bronze skinned. Have you ever seen anything like that here?
Are you looking at Annalie's face when you say that?
It's like passing glances to her and then ahead.
Yeah, whenever you make a quick glance at Annalie as you're saying that, you can see she looks a little bit confused, as if she's never heard of any sort of thing like that out here. And she speaks up.
No, I've never seen anything like that in these parts of the woods. It sounds scary. It looks like you've been through a lot, though, so maybe you just need some rest.
Yeah, maybe, but like I said, my brother and my friends, they're trapped in these woods. Again, there are weird things happening here.
Do you remember the last time you saw your brother?
Yeah, it was maybe and she realizes she really doesn't know how long she's been here, how long she's been walking away, and she guesses maybe 20 minutes.
So he shouldn't be too far. Let's get you back to my place. We can get you cleaned up, maybe a little bit of food, a little bit of rest, and then we can both go back out and look for your brother again, okay?
Yeah, you seem to know your way around the woods, so yeah, I think that would be helpful.
She gives a nice, sweet smile and a little nod of her head, as if she's very much looking forward to helping you look for your brother.
Lydia slowly nods her head awkwardly at the smile, then woodenly turns back to stare forward as a little bit of a blush comes on her cheeks.
And not shortly after, just behind some trees, a little ways ahead of you, you can see, coming into view, a small little cabin with some light coming from the inside begins to appear through the rain and the wind.
Is it a nice cabin?
It looks almost brand new.
This is remarkable to Lydia. I mean, all she has experienced in this forest is awful things. And yet here's this beautiful woman, her lovely cabin. She just is having trouble believing all of it, but here it is.
Stating it in a way that she realizes that it doesn't really need to be said, Annalie speaks out to you.
Well, there it is. There's my house. You can tie your horse up out front. He should be safe there. What's your horse's name? Does it have one?
Oh, it's actually not my horse, it's my brother's, and I think he calls it Sky Chaser.
What a lovely name. That's so cute. Okay, tie Sky Chaser up out front and I'll follow you in.
All right. Yeah, okay. And Lydia finds a part of the cabin that has a little bit of an awning so that Sky Chaser, is there any covered area?
Yeah, off to the left of the house. There's an area that would logically be for horses, yeah.
I'll tie off Sky Chaser there, and then I'll head back towards the door to the cabin.
As you finish tying up Sky Chaser and you've walked to the front door, she's been by your side the whole way. And as you both get to the front door, she reaches out her arm, pulls the door open, and gestures for you to go inside.
Thank you.
Of course. I didn't want to see anyone as beautiful as you out here dealing with such dangerous weather.
I thought you said I looked terrible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean you look terrible. It's clear your beauty shines through what you've been through.
Oh, yeah. okay. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I don't mean to come off as strange or weird. Listen,
No,
I don't know.
I'm sorry. It's really stupid. Just no one's ever called me beautiful before.
And she looks surprised.
Nobody? What? How is that possible? I mean, have you seen yourself?
I mean, like my brother did. Like he'd say, like, "Oh, yeah, you're so beautiful, Lydia." But that's my brother. You know, it's stupid. Never mind. I'm gonna go inside.
Oh, yes. Let's get inside. Do you want to get into something dry first, or do you want to eat, or take a bath?
These are my only clothes.
Well, it looks like we might wear the same size. I don't know. I might have something upstairs for you to wear.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that, like, I have time for all of that, but I'm just gonna go inside. She does so hurriedly. She is very embarrassed at her inability to talk properly right now.
Yeah, and as you're feeling a little bit frazzled, as you're walking through this threshold, the door shuts behind you with her following, and inside this cabin, you see some of the most elegant furniture. It looks old-timey, but still so comfortable. There's a big fireplace that's blazing with light and fire. It's warming the entire cabin. You're already starting to feel your skin become dry just simply from the fireplace and the warmth that's emanating throughout this house. And you can see off to the left, there is a kitchen with a small window that looks out into the rest of the forest. And it looks like there have been some recently used dishes next to this sink. In the middle of the house, there's a spiral staircase that leads to an upper floor.
Oh, wow, shit, it's nice in here.
Yeah. And you hear Annalie go,
Oh, I mean...
No, it's okay.
No, what do people say when they go in a nice home? I'm from a rundown shack. This is silly. I'm just gonna go change.
She places a hand on your upper arm, close to your shoulder, and you can feel her squeeze just a little bit to feel so comforting.
You can say whatever you want. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Yeah, alright. No, then let me put it this way. You have the nicest home that I've ever been in.
And she gives a big smile.
Okay, and your clothes are in your room? Am I going to your room?
Yes, just at the top of the stairs, and then to the right. That's my room, where all of my clothes are.
In the closet, right? Or
well, next to the closet in the dresser.
The dresser. You probably have a wardrobe too. You're so fancy.
No, I don't have a wardrobe. I promise.
She gives a little giggle.
And you can grab whatever you want. I'll just wait down here.
Yeah. I'll do that, and I won't ruin your nice clothes. I'm just gonna go upstairs. And Lydia hurriedly goes upstairs.
So as you make your way upstairs, Annalie, you can hear her walk into the kitchen, and you can hear that she opens up a little stove where there's presumably something cooking, because this house smells wonderful as well. It smells like there's fresh bread and maybe some sort of stew. And as you make your way upstairs, you can see that there is a hallway once you get to the very top, and she had said that her room's to the right. Down to the left, there are a couple of other rooms as well.
Lydia stands at the top of the landing, and she just says to herself, "Stop being such an idiot, Lydia." And she just walks to the closest door.
That door that you walk to, it's closed, and it's to your right. Do you open that door?
Yes.
Yeah, you open it, and there's no light turned on in this room. It's very dark. The bed, it looks a little bit messy, as if, this person doesn't make it whenever they get up in the morning. And the dresser seems quite dusty.
Lydia looks around for an oil lamp. Is there any kind of light?
There's a lamp on top of the dresser itself.
All right, I'm going to light that up.
Yeah, and it turns on, and as it's slowly beginning to glow brighter and brighter as it warms up and becomes full, you can see the walls in this room. It's almost as if this room, for some reason or another, hasn't been taken care of to the same extent as the rest of the house that you've seen so far. And the dresser in front of you looks like it has some wood rot on it.
Lydia looks at the room. She's going to walk back out of the room, go back to the landing, and call down the stairs. Hey, you said your room is where again? Sorry, you've got a big place.
Well, did you go in the room to the right when you got to the top?
Yeah, I did. It's just...
Yeah, that's my room to the right.
Okay. All right, yeah. Llydia goes back inside the room, but she's gonna open up that dresser.
You open up the dresser, and you see clothes in there. These seem like very old, dusty clothes. Like they haven't been used in a very long time.
Gonna do a discern realities.
Okay.
That is a complete success.
All right. 3 questions.
Llydia this makes no sense to her. Because she's just seen this beautiful woman in immaculate dress, but this is her room and these are her clothes? What happened here recently?
It looks like no one has been in this room in years. With all the dust that's lining everything, with the bed that looks like a mess, it doesn't look like a recent mess. It looks like it's been a very, very long time since anything's happened.
What should I be on the lookout for?
When you came into this room, you left the door open behind you.
Yeah, I mean, Llydia does look around the room, and she realizes she left the door open, and she thinks to herself, oh, I'm about to get undressed. So she closes the door. Final question, what is useful or valuable to me here?
Llydia, as you're looking around, once again, nothing here is really connecting. The dots seem separated. The downstairs looked immaculate and perfect, yet this room looks old, dusty, and worn. And you know what you saw in the forest. So someone living out here for as long as she claims, it feels quite outlandish that this person would have not experienced anything like you were describing. It feels as if you might need to get answers.
Llydia turns away from the dresser, and she goes over to the door that she just recently closed. I'm going to try to listen to see if there's anything on the other side of the door.
As you are close to this door and listening so carefully to anything on the other side, you can hear a small amount of light breathing on the other side of this door.
All right, so I see this closet door, and I'm going to go towards that, and I'm going to open it up, and while I'm walking to it, I'm going to yell, acting like she's not at the door. If she is at the door, whatever's at the door. Going to yell like I'm calling downstairs, and I'm going to go, hey, just so you know, I'm completely naked up here, so do not come in. I'm very self-conscious about my body.
You hear Annalie from the other side of that door speak softly.
I was wondering if I could come in.
For what purpose?
Well, it just seemed like you needed someone to comfort you. Because I know I do.
As I've been talking, I have tried to open the closet door. I'm going to go in the closet, shut the door, and hide. Stay out of the light. So I cannot be detected in the closet except by magical means.
You hear the door to the room creak open slowly, and you hear a small, soft footstep here and there.
I don't know where you are, but I just needed someone to comfort me tonight as well. I've been having a hard time out here, and I was just thinking, maybe we might be able to hold each other.
And Llydia, please roll Defy Danger Wisdom.
That's a semi-success.
In this moment, after she says that she wants you to hold her, you feel just quickly a small yearning to be held as well, that you want to hold her. But something shakes from your mind and you quickly move past that thought as you remain in that closet.
Llydia is momentarily distracted by that sudden bout of desire that seemed to come out of nowhere, out of her own control, and then dissipate. And so I'm going to look out the keyhole into the room.
Yeah, and when you look through the keyhole, you see something very strange. You see Annalie sitting on the bed with her hands in her face. And this room This room looks bright and comfortable. It looks as magnificent as the downstairs looked. The bed looks warm and cozy. It just looks nice in there.
Llydia whispers to herself, what the? The situation has changed. Can I do another discern realities?
Yeah, sure.
That's a failure.
Ooh, okay. As you whisper, what the? I don't think you realized exactly how loud you were. Annalie looks up towards the closet.
Oh, are you still changing in there?
Yeah, like I said, I'm completely naked. Don't come in here.
Do a defy danger charisma.
Her worst stat. That's a failure.
Oh my god. Annalie stands up from the bed and she walks up to the closet and she slowly opens the door and sees you still in your soaking clothes. And she walks right up to you. Are you standing?
No, I was making it even more awkward. Crouching. I'm at her waist.
Yeah. And she looks down at you, and then she decides to crouch down to you, and your noses are inches apart. And she places a hand on your cheek, and she says,
Oh, you haven't changed yet? Well, maybe we could get those clothes off of you and hold each other.
You are being very forward, and I don't know about any of this. And Lydia is going to back away till her back is pressed against the back of the closet.
And Annalie comes into the closet with you, and she keeps getting closer and closer, and she holds on to your neck, and she tries to pull you in.
Llydia is going to grab at the fabric around the waist of her dress. She's just going to hold on to that fabric until she's ready to make a decision about what she's going to do.
Annalie, with a surprising strength, is pushing your face towards hers. She's trying to kiss you.
In that moment, Llydia does feel a desire to kiss her. I'm going to ask a question about Llydia. Has Llydia ever kissed anyone?
Ooh.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Unlikely, given her arrangement and
Right.
how she's lived her life. That is a 59, so the answer is no.
Okay. Lydia's never kissed anybody.
So no, she hasn't kissed anybody, and she's looking at this beautiful woman approaching her.
Annalie's eyes are looking so deeply into yours. They're so beautiful. They're hazel, but bright. And her eyelids are halfway shut, as if they're about to fully shut once your lips lock together.
Llydia panics. She takes that fabric at the waist of this woman's dress, and she is going to try to flip this woman underneath her and hold her down.
Ooh, okay. In this moment, because you've had 2 failures and she's seducing you, I'm going to make this a strength check to give you a slight disadvantage in that regard.
It's a failure.
Oh my gosh. Dude, you're rolling like me today. What the heck? As soon as you start trying to tug, she pulls back and places her hands on the door frame to steady herself, and then she kicks out a foot into your chest and pins you against the back of the closet, pressing her foot into you. She has turned aggressive.
I'm going to take my open palm, and I'm going to basically an open palm strike against her ankle. Because of my racial trait, any weapon I'm wielding is dex. Well, and actually, I choose one weapon, and I choose my fists as my weapon. So, several things that I would like to acknowledge here. 1, I rolled 2 6s.
Oh, okay. Dang.
So this is a 15. 2, I have the ability, which we have not done yet, muscle bound. When I wield a weapon, it gains forceful and messy. So I'll roll for damage now. It's a 3. Llydia feels the weight of her foot, and it's oddly strong, you said, right?
Yeah.
Llydia wasn't expecting her to fight back. Lydia's been in a lot of fights, and she's fought against a lot of opponents, but this woman in her dress with everything going on, she wasn't expecting this. She just wanted to pin her down so she could ask her some questions about everything that was happening here. But now she's been pinned against this closet, and forcefully. and Llydia is not about to be trapped by anybody again. So she takes her open palm and full force aims directly for her ankle and strikes it.
This palm strike of yours releases a hefty amount of pressure upon her ankle as her leg goes flying off of you and sends her spinning onto the ground. And as she lies there with her face and chest on the ground, you can see her back. You can see what looks like this disfigured, disgusting mutation of a spinal column. It looks like roots of a tree running up her back, almost like wooden root. As she is lying there on her face, she quickly rolls over, and from her hand, her wrist, you can see a dagger form as if this root around her back was creating this dagger in her hand. And she leaps at you and screeches.
I'm going to try to use the force of her leap to turn while grabbing her biceps to try to pin her against the wall.
Okay, awesome. Dexterity.
Another 15!
No way, dude. What in the world?
Hey, I got 3 failures in a row.
No, I know. I mean, you deserve this right now.
Yeah. So yeah.
You've paid your dues.
She lunges at me, and I deftly grab her biceps and slam her wooden, mangled back against the wall, not aiming to deal damage, but it's just the force of her own body hitting it. And I hold her there, and I am looking her in the face, and I say, "What is happening?"
As you're looking at her, her face goes sorrowful. She looks at you with deep concern, and she says,
Lovely, I just wanted you to hold me.
and you can see, as you're holding her to the wall, her dress, almost appearingly on its own, starts coming off of her body, almost like it's slithering to the ground, and it reveals bare skin. You can see every inch of her.
Llydia stares in disbelief. I mean, hell, she's never kissed somebody, so she's never seen a nude person.
Defy danger wisdom.
Fuck wisdom.
Oh, did you get a fail?
I did.
No. Okay.
Now, you have to acknowledge she's aware something screwed up is happening here.
No, of course. Of course. I mean, this is magic that we're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a statement on your own character. This is a magic spell. You have this unbelievable urge to kiss this woman right now, to place your lips upon hers. And she motions her face a little bit closer to yours.
Llydia, there's nothing in this world more perfect than pressing our bare bodies against each other, skin to skin. Let me show you.
And she leans in and places her lips upon yours, locks them tightly there, as you feel warm, wet lips on yours. And it feels like in this moment, Annalie was right. Everything about this feels so perfect. In your head, you feel like there was nothing in this world that could be more perfect than this.
Llydia feels the kiss, and it's a singular experience that she's never had before. She's never been this close to another person. For a moment, she feels pleasure.
But then you feel a very sharp and stinging pain in your gut. You can feel a stabbing, as if something's just been pushed deep inside of you. And you take 4 damage.
Llydia pulls away, and she looks down at her stomach. She sees a dagger embedded in her flesh. And when she sees that, she knows all of this is a lie. This woman is playing with her. This woman wants to hurt her, and she did. She took away something from Llydia, and she reacts in abject anger. If she was going to take something away from her, Lydia's going to take something away from Annalie. Still holding on to her left bicep, Llydia is going to grab the side of Annalie's face, twisting it and pressing it into the wall behind her as hard as she can.
Holy shit. Okay, then let's do the dexterity.
It's a complete success.
Okay, come on, man. Roll that high damage. Let's see something good here.
Well, I'm currently using submission hold, which I add an extra D4 damage to it.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Whenever I am holding on to somebody, when I have my hands on them, my next attack to them deals an additional plus 1 D4.
Dude, that's so good. I want to see this number, man.
This is 9 damage.
All right.
And it's forceful and it's messy.
Yeah.
Llydia is gripping this woman. Llydia doesn't even know anymore. This woman's arm. She presses it further into the wall as she takes her open palm, grabs the side of Annalie's head, presses it to the side, and starts to press it against the closet wall as if she's trying to smash a grape.
And Llydia, you are so strong. You know the proper technique of how to use your muscles with your hands in order to properly harm someone else. And as you're pressing Annalie's head in, you can feel her dagger release from your stomach. You can see as you're pressing her head into this wall, not only is the skull beneath your hand starting to cave in, the wall behind her head is cracking and caving as well as you are creating this dent into the wall. And you can feel her head starting to split underneath your grip. By the time you realize what you've done and you've pulled your hand away, her head is essentially smashed and torn apart. And she still, somehow miraculously, pulls her head away from this wall. And as if it's uncontrollable, it's flopping everywhere. But she still turns it towards you in this eerie, creepy sight. And you hear her voice once more.
Llydia, we were supposed to hold each other.
And Annalie slumps to the ground, and her deformed face is looking at you as if she's about to start crying in one last ditch attempt to get you to just hold her.
Llydia looks at this creature on the ground. It can't be a person. She saw its hideous back, the way it's still trying to pursue this strange, disgusting relationship with her. But she clues in on one thing in particular. Llydia is going to put her foot on the hand that is holding, or rather is basically this dagger, and she's going to kneel down to Annalie's face. And she says, "That's funny. I never told you my name." And I'm just going to punch her right in the face.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make you roll because it's just right there, but let's have you roll 2d6 plus dex.
It's a semi-success. Lydia's arm goes back almost like a piston, and she just drives her fist into this creature's face.
Really, whatever's left of that face. Because as you drive that fist in, this thing splits apart, and that root-like wooden spine shoots through the back of her head. And as you send her head into the wall behind her, you feel a sharp stab from that root-like spine, dealing 2 damage to you. As it cuts into your fist, whoever or whatever she was, she is dead, and that is clear, because her head is completely detached from her body, and the rest of her body slumps over onto the ground. And everything around you, Llydia, this house, what looked warm and comforting, it slowly fades back into this dark, disgusting, dusty, years of wear house. It's dark. And it's cold now.
Llydia stands up. She uses the flat of her foot to flip Annalie over one more time to look at her back, to confirm to herself that this was some kind of monster, a monster that meant her harm.
Yeah, you roll this body over, and you can see this beautiful figure that was the gorgeous, smooth skin that had attracted you before starts to almost retract into this root-like spine. But something remains, that arm that you had your foot on, and that almost wooden dagger that was coming from the hand.
Llydia looks at what remains of this body, and this hand has a dagger coming out of it. She picks it up. She goes and she sits on the bed. She stares at it, and then she just mutters to herself, "Yeah, you know what, Llydia, maybe you're better off alone."
Are you keeping the knife?
I'm gonna hang on to it because Llydia wants a reminder that the horrible things that she's seeing here are real, just in case the forest has any other tricks up its sleeve.
I rolled a question about the dagger, about it as a piece of loot. I asked the GM fate chart, does this dagger have the ability to seduce others? And it said yes.
Oh my.
So I'm imagining if you stab someone with it, they are almost under your will in that moment.
If I harm them with the dagger.
Harm them with the dagger, yes.
They get seduced. Huh. Is Llydia aware of this?
Maybe not in this moment, but you as a player are.
Yeah, Lydia's just hangs onto it, lets it drop to the side. She just looks around and she's like, all right, I'm leaving now. And she doesn't know who she's talking to. Maybe it's just to keep herself sane. But she stands up from the bed and walks out to leave. I want out of here.
And as you're going down those stairs, you see small little paintings hung up on the sides of the walls. Some of them are ripped, some of them have stains on them, but there are a couple where you see the face on the paintings quite clearly. It's a beautiful, slender woman who looks so happy.
Llydia walks over to this painting of this beautiful woman. She takes the hand dagger that she has and she points it at the painting and she says, why couldn't you have been here?
And as you put your dagger back down and you start to continue down the stairs once again, you realize that these steps are just as worn down as the rest of the house. Some of them look like they're about to collapse at any moment. They're rotting away, and some are completely broken right in the middle. And you also notice that this house no longer smells like fresh bread, and no longer smells like stew. It's no longer warm because the fireplace isn't lit anymore. It's just cold in here. And the dishes in the kitchen, as you see off to your right, as you come down the stairs, they're old and broken. It looks like the food rotted away so long ago. These plates are just covered in grime and mold. And you reach the entrance to the house, and the door isn't even on the hinges. It's broken and on the ground. But as you take a step out, almost as if your request that you made to the painting was granted, you see a slender, bronze-skinned, transparent figure standing directly in front of you, just outside the house. But this figure is so close to you and so still. This is the best you've ever gotten to see their face. And you can see that this is the same exact woman you saw in the paintings going down the stairs.
Wait, it was you?
The ghost looks shamefully towards the ground. So sad. It looks back up to Llydia and nods their head weakly.
Did she do that to you?
The ghost nods her head again, and she points at herself and then points at you, as if indicating what this thing was trying to do to you. This ghost fell for it long ago.
Hey, I don't know how to say this. Honestly, it just sounds insane. You're a ghost, I think, and I don't know if you're real. But if all this is real, then I got vengeance for you.
And the ghost gives a small smile, and she walks closer towards you until she's inches from your face. You can see this ghost. Even though it's slightly transparent, you can see a beautiful quality to this ghost's eyes. She smiles once again and goes in to embrace you as if this ghost could physically touch you. And you're not sure if it's in your mind or not, but you almost feel a comforting warmth as this ghost hugs you. But no longer than a moment later, this ghost dissipates like mist in a breeze. And you can feel whatever you did today, this ghost is very, very thankful for you.
Llydia nods, standing in the pouring rain, her stomach bleeding. She turns away. She walks over to Sky Chaser, strokes Sky Chaser's mane, and says, "Hey, let's get out of here, okay?"
The horse gives a small snort. It seems like it's responding to you.
Llydia mounts the horse, still not knowing where she's going, but now with 2 less problems. She pulls the reins
and has Skychaser trot forward, wandering, hoping to find some way out of this absolutely terrible forest.
And almost as if it was reading your mind, you hear the distant hoot of an owl just a ways ahead of you, as if it was trying to guide you out of this forest. And thank you for listening to Into the Wilderheath 5. The fact that you're still here until this point makes me happier than I can express. Jeffrey and I send our greatest thanks to all of you who have stuck with the podcast a full year. We've only seen the show grow, and there's no way it could have happened without you. We also want to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. Our newest supporter over at Patreon is Matt. Thanks again, Matt, for joining the Eye of the Anvil. Also, we want to give our monthly shout out to our Patreon supporters who are at the $5 tier and above. So, thanks to Elizabeth, Emily, Indigo, Casey, Ashley, Maddie, and MK. Starting at just $2 a month, all our patrons get access to bonus episodes, postcards, and monthly random tables made by the wonderful, ever so fabulous Jeffrey himself. The link to our Patreon is in the description of this episode. And if you want to connect with us a bit more, check out our Twitter and Instagram at RollAndTellPod. And better yet, join our Discord where Jeffrey, a bunch of other listeners, and I are all active on a daily basis, where we discuss the show, play by post D&D games, and tons of watermelon ASMR. Yum. Jeffrey is a wonderful co-host, a fantastic producer, and a swell friend. Today is his birthday, so please find his Twitter, go on Discord, get his number out of a decade-old yellow pages, and shout him out for being born, baby. And I, Christian, edited this and all other episodes of Roll and Tell. Start listening to the show with headphones on, you will thank me. So Llydia finally found the source of the ghost's torment and set its soul free. But at what cost? She lost a piece of her that feels irreplaceable. As she reconciles with what she's been through, will she make her way out of the forest? Will she find Llydia and the others again? How is our other group faring in the heart of the forest? We only know as much as you do. Find out with us next time, as we roll and tell.